Hello everyone, I hope you all have been watching my videos on the topic photosynthesis. In the last video, I had discussed about the experiment that is performed to show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. Today, we will be discussing about an experiment to show that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. So repeatedly I have told you all, during photosynthesis, carbon dioxide reacts with water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to produce glucose and oxygen. Okay, so an experiment is performed to find out whether carbon dioxide is really needed for photosynthesis or not. In my previous video also, I had told you all, whenever an experiment on photosynthesis is performed, the plant has to be destarched. Now, what does destarching mean? The plant is kept in a dark room for 48 hours so that all the stored starch is utilized by the plant. Okay, that means the plant does not have any starch, that means stored form of glucose in it. Now, this plant is destarched for 48 hours. Then what is done is we take a conical flask, first I'll draw it here, and in the conical flask we take potassium hydroxide. Which is written as KOH. K for potassium, OH for hydroxide. So we take potassium hydroxide. Now what is the function of potassium hydroxide? Now potassium hydroxide absorbs carbon dioxide. So potassium hydroxide absorbs carbon dioxide. So what we do is we take a conical flask. I just draw it here. Actually we don't pluck the leaf. We have to do it in this entire plant without plucking the leaf. But to make it easy, I'll draw it here. So what we do is we take a conical flask and inside this we will hang a small tube in which we fill potassium hydroxide. So we fill this tube with potassium hydroxide and then we close the mouth of the conical flask with a split cork. Now what is a split cork? It is a cork which has a split or a hole in it. Okay, so through this split I will insert, or we have to insert the leaf. So half part of the leaf is inside the conical flask and the other half is outside the conical flask. So something like this. So here we have the conical flask here. And then here we have the potassium hydroxide here. Okay. Now I already told you potassium hydroxide absorbs carbon dioxide, CO2. That means whatever carbon dioxide may be inside the flask is absorbed by potassium hydroxide. Now we leave it in the sunlight for a few hours. After a few hours, I will pluck this leaf. I will take it out from the flask and I test it for starch. Now suppose this is the portion which was inside the flask and this is the portion which is outside the flask. Now in the last video also I told you to test starch we use iodine solution. If starch is present, then the portion turns blue-black, and if starch is absent, that particular portion turns brown. So I drop iodine here, I drop iodine here. What will happen? This portion will turn brown. Why? Because it was inside the conical flask which contained potassium hydroxide. And I also already told you potassium hydroxide absorbs carbon dioxide. So it got light, it got water obviously through the phloem, but it did not get carbon dioxide because whatever carbon dioxide was inside this flask was absorbed by potassium hydroxide. Whereas this portion turns blue-black. This portion turns blue-black because it received carbon dioxide. So here starch is absent, here starch is present, showing that photosynthesis did not occur here, photosynthesis could occur here. So this experiment proves that carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis. Once more, what do? We take a potted plant, we destarch it. How do we destarch it? We keep it in a dark room for 48 hours. Why do we destarch it? To remove all the starch. After 48 hours, I take out the plant, I take a conical flask, I then keep a small tube with potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide absorbs carbon dioxide, and then I cover the mouth of the conical flask with a split cork through which I insert a portion of a leaf. I leave it like this for a few hours, then I pluck the leaf, remove it from the conical flask and test it with iodine solution. The portion inside the flask turns brown and the portion outside the flask turns blue-black, proving that here photosynthesis could not occur because carbon dioxide was absent, and here photosynthesis occurred because carbon dioxide is present. So why do we use potassium hydroxide is to absorb carbon dioxide. So I hope you understood this experiment is very simple. Thank you everyone. Keep watching my videos. Bye bye.